Hey everyone, John here, and I just wanted to take a couple moments to talk about, getting into fitness and exercise, and more importantly, how to prevent injury. So in some of my past series, we talked about overall health, we talked about nutrition, getting your kids involved, and a lot of different things. But maybe you're new to exercise, or you're trying to get back into it, and you're not necessarily sure where to get started. And more importantly, getting started, you want to get into something that you can sustain and not something that's going to get you hurt. So today we're going to talk about the first four things. This is going to be a two-part video. Today is the first four things is kind of the planning stage and getting you started into the workouts. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about some things that you do outside of the workouts to help prevent injury based on what you're up to. So here's the first one I like to say, very important, is variety. If you're trying to achieve overall health, or even if you're working towards a specific goal, variety, you've heard it called cross-training, and other things of that nature are very important. As an example, one thing I see all the time is I have a lot of friends who are runners, and some of them do very well with this, and others seem to forget some of this basic concept of variety. So they decide they're going to run for an event. So what do? They run. They run some more. Next week, they run again. They compete in their event, and then the off season, they run some more. And next thing you know, they have hip flexor issues and leg problems and knee issues and all sorts of other things that are ailing them. And one of the things that they're missing is that full concept of overall health and that variety that they're missing. You can't continue to do the same thing even if it's walking around the block. I can all but guarantee that if that's all you do every day for the rest of your life, you will get hurt because your body needs a break, and doing that same repetitive motion eventually tears things down. Doesn't mean you have to reduce intensity, you just have to mix it up. So make sure that when you're planning out your fitness, and I'm happy to help with this, always reach out to me. First, start with your goals. We had a whole series on determining goals and how to stay motivated with them, but find out what you're working towards. And then from there, you can kind of plan out what type of exercising you need. But in general, you're going to need some kind of cardio, some kind of resistance training. You're going to need stretching, or I prefer to do yoga, but at least a day dedicated to that. And you're also going to need recovery. You can throw in some meditation if you want, and definitely throw in some high intensity work. It might be intervals. It might just be changing up that pace and amount of resistance to get that mixture of different things. But that variety is critical to preventing the injury, or injuries in general. Each time you're doing something different, it gives your body a break from what you had been doing, and as well as things like yoga, or more restorative, meditation, work your mind as well as your body. It all plays together. So keep that variety in check and make sure that you're going towards your goals. If you are a runner, sure, when you're leading up to that event, you're going to do a lot more of that cardio. But don't forget the yoga, don't forget the stretching, and when the season is over, stop running, do something totally different to cross-train and build those muscles that work in different directions. Number two is your ego. This is a big problem for people who used to work out, had a long period of time off, and then are getting back into it, and they remember what they used to be able to do, which was maybe years ago, maybe in high school or worse, and now here they are 10, 12 years later thinking that they can pick up like they just stopped yesterday. And you need to check your ego at the door and do just as much as you're capable of. And not to say a little excitement and adrenaline don't help push for that extra few pounds or extra couple reps, but keep it in check. If you think you can do more and next thing you know your form is falling apart, the rest of you is going to fall apart with it. So always do what you can and keep an understanding of your movements and how you're doing so that you can modify, reduce the weight, reduce the range of motion, or whatever it is, or even stop before you actually get hurt. Ego is very important. Number three, focus. When you're working out, there's more to just focusing on doing your best. You don't want to just trip over a dumbbell and get hurt. When I speak about focus, I want you to be more about self-awareness in your movements. Again, back to your form. And if you have issues with a certain exercise and you're not sure of, please be sure to reach out. I'd be happy to make a video dedicated towards just that one movement if you need to. I do plan to do some later in this series to protect our back and our knees and some other body parts that are usually more susceptible to injury based on what we do. So focus on your alignment. Where's your back? Is it straight? Where are your knees? Different things like that. Keep them in check. And then pay attention and be honest with yourself so that if your form is breaking down, you adjust or stop to prevent that injury. So that ego and focus kind of go hand in hand with that overall self-awareness. And then finally, number 4, before you start working out, make sure you get a proper warm-up and a stretch, and when you're done, a proper cool down and stretch to finish. A lot of people just go off and think they can start doing power jumps and heavy duty presses and different things, and they haven't warmed up, and it's first thing in the morning, and next thing you know, your muscles are in pain and you've hurt yourself. So when it comes to a warm-up, start with some light jogging, jumping rope, some dynamic movements, arm circles, swinging your arms, leg swings, things like that. You're trying to get those fluids in your joints moving. They lubricate your joints and protect them. You want to get that all started before you get into those heavy movements. Once you're warmed up, your heart rate's up a little bit, you feel physically warmer, now it's time to get those stretching in. Light stretch, you can continue with the dynamic stretching, you can even throw in a few static ones, but stretch the muscles that you're about to work. Make sure that they're nice and loosened up, ready to go, because you wouldn't want to be in the middle of a movement and overstretch a muscle under tension, which is going to possibly cause that injury. Another thing I like to do as part of my warm-up, I'll do my warm-up, jog in place, whatever I'm going to do, dynamic motions. I do some stretching, or actually I do my warm-up, and then I do some foam rolling, work on the muscles that I'm about to do for the day, and then I do a little bit of stretch, and then I go into my motions. And then finally, when my workout is all finished, it's kind of like the same thing in reverse. We do a little bit of warm-up, or cooling down, again, kind of shaking things out, light jog, bring your heart rate down, keep moving the muscles. You don't want to just go from like a dead sprint to a stop. You want to kind of ease yourself back down, and then a light stretch. Now that stretch at the end is very important for you to be aware of what you're doing. You want to make sure that you're getting a nice stretch, but because the muscles are warm and tired, you will be able to stretch further and even overstretch and injure them because they are more vulnerable. So make sure you can feel the stretch, but it shouldn't be painful. So again, the muscles you just worked out, give them that light stretch, and then you're ready to go about the rest of your day. So there's my top 4 for your planning, and within the workout we have variety, ego, focus, and a proper warm-up and stretch. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about some of the things that we can do outside of our workouts to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves to prevent injuries outside of the gym. So thanks again for watching. My name is John. Please be sure to subscribe down below, and look forward to everyone again tomorrow when we talk about those last 3.